Morning, everybody. 8:15 a.m. It's July 6th. Welcome to my channel. Now we had a 3-day weekend with trading, and the market was pretty wild on Friday. Pretty much kind of sold off. Nasdaq was relatively weaker as money flowed out of basically the DRAM, the memory stocks, semiconductors. However, that doesn't really matter. Semis are back up 3%. So that was a momentary dip. I see JP Morgan saying that was the dip opportunity. Who really knows? So we recovered, right? Like, so right now, SPY, because you got to look at that just to give more clarity instead of futures. SPY is up 0.5%. QQQ is up 1.34%. Okay. I saw Broadcom and Apple continuing their partnership through 2031. Broadcom is up 4.48% on that news. Okay. So it should be interesting. Today's going to be a little more a brief session from me. I started a little later and I have to leave a little earlier, drop my daughter off at camp. All right, so let's get right into it. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. Use market profile and buying profile to find structure in the markets, along supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, and most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. That is my address, how I come up with my game plans. Now, once that market opens up, I use my market internals to find what's going on. Money flows are going into off the open, along with a little ICT, anchor view up, my weekly expected move indicator I give for free on my Discord, along with gamma flip points I give away from my Discord as well. All wrap that up into my own proprietary trading system. Okay. Now every morning I do this. Hopefully you join me, subscribe, set that alert. Okay. Give you the market story, the market news, technical analysis, and I always give you the long and short trade scenarios in the Nasdaq and the ES futures later on in the stream. If you want more in-depth coverage, you're going to join my Discord. That's Confluence Trading. Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link, and sign up. What are you waiting for? Let me be your indicator. Let's get right into futures watch list here. Let's see what's moving markets this morning. So the VIX is up 3.23. Ethereum's up 2.90. Silver is up. Good morning, Chief. Silver is up 2.5%. Nasdaq's up 1.25. Gold up 1%. Bitcoin's up 0.89. ES up a little under 0.5%. Dollar's up 0.21. Russell's up 0.20. 30-year bonds being bought. The Dow is basically flat. Crude is down 0.29, and the 10-year yield is down over 0.5%. Okay. And then we're coming off of a holiday weekend. I'm not expecting much on a Monday morning. Okay. Let's get into the Mag 7 Plus here. And you can clearly see here that Broadcom up over 4.5%, AMD up 4%. They also got an upgrade. Micron's up 3.43, so people buying the dip. Meta's up 1.5%. Tesla's up 1.30. Caterpillar up 1.25. Amazon up 0.68. Now there's some laggards here. Apple down 0.45. JP Morgan down 0.45. Eli Lilly down 0.5%. Microsoft down 0.60. And Netflix is your laggard down 0.85 right there. Okay. And top sector stocks here. Oracle up 2.5%. GE Vernova up 1.89. Qualcomm up 1.5%. The NEM mining stock up 1.25. And there's some laggards here in this list here. Let's just do so. United Healthcare down 0.32. Visa down 0.34, which has had a monster move. Salesforce down 0.44. Walmart down 0.5%. Visa down 0.5%. Palantir down 0.65. And Johnson & Johnson down 0.81. Okay, moving on to sectors. Semiconductors are up over 3%. Technology up 1.5%. Industrials up 0.15. Discretionary up 0.13. The laggards here is financials up 0.13. Healthcare up 0.26. I'm sorry, down 0.13 and down 0.26, and energy down 0.36. So energy is the laggard this morning. Alrighty. Now, let's move on to this economic calendar. All right. Today we have ISM services at 10 a.m. and we have Fred Waller speaking at 11 a.m. This week, what do we have? FOMC minutes on Wednesday. There's not a lot this week. It's really not a lot. Now, quickly, let's see here. Certain headlines here. Buy the pullback in chip stocks. JP Morgan's Mateka says. Let's see. Memory stocks rebound as analysts flag a buying opportunity. See, this is all what's going on this morning. All right. And Bitcoin climbs above 63K as Fed rate hike fears ease. All right. That's what's kind of going on there. I talked about the Apple and Broadcom extending their relationship to 2031. Remember, SK Hynix is coming into our markets, the second largest company in South Korea's stock market. That should be interesting. I also saw that the SpaceX is going to join the NASDAQ 100. All right. Now it looks like Trump account's launch is today at 1:30. Okay. I don't think they didn't update this today. Did they? Nope. No news to update there. Okay, that's good enough. Let's go to my spread here. So on Friday, my little dispersion spread that basically means it's a stock pickers market and we're at extreme levels is made an all-time high on the Tuesday, and still stocks are just doing their own thing. Okay, I'm expecting a correction to happen. Just don't know when that's going to happen. Okay, nobody knows the timing. Give me one sec. I think I'm going to sneeze here. All right, that was a nice sneeze. So I'm just keeping an eye on this. This is pretty heated. This is at all-time highs. Okay, this is typically marked tops in markets. So who knows? I don't know. Like I said, timing is the thing that nobody knows when that's going to happen. Okay, if we look at some breadth charts, let's go to 28 moving average. 68% of stocks over the 20-day moving average that improved, even with that dip. Now remember, the ES was relatively stronger. 50-day moving average, 67% over 50-day moving average, pretty decent. And we'll just go over the bullish percent index of the S&P 500, and that improved 62% on buy signals. And the NDX, that went down because of that big sell-off. That's going to change today, 47%. Okay, probably the technology sector as well went down. Yep, 46%. Now, some overheated ones is healthcare. That is pretty overbought, folks. 81% on buy signals. Hence, already some healthcare names are pulling back this morning. Okay. There was another one, and I can't remember it, but we're just going to move on here. We're going to go right into the dailies. Or actually, right into the market internals, actually. Let's do that. I did have a nice short trade on Thursday. Nice short trade. Nice little 2R, 200% return, however you want to look at that. All right, now on that Thursday, we started out strong, and I was, oh boy, I was talking about it when I was live that I was like, this could really fall apart. I was looking to short. I almost shorted at the top, but I like to have whatever I do repeatable. Even if I would have got paid on that, but mentally, if I would have took a loss, that would not have been good mentally for me. So you always got to protect your mental capital. And then we just fell apart, right? But you had hot pockets. Look at the equal weight. See how the equal weight was so divergent? Because it was concentrated usually in tech. Okay, but I mentioned these little Valdi numbers, these ratios. I said, ooh, they're only at 1-to-1s. We're probably not going to fall too far. And look, we couldn't even break and hold below the lows, previous day's lows. Okay. Now, we're going to get into daily charts. Okay. Dailies. Notice, keep talking about those supply zones, right? Let me change this. This should have had opacity setting changed here. Hold on a sec. All right. So notice we went into this supply zone again, sold off. Not again. The first time it came in there, right? I said that's going to be a hard time to get up there. You have a main downtrend line also right here. And we hit the previous week's highs, but then closed lower, right? And what was the main factor? Not main factor, but, and again, with the save, look at the market when it hit the expected move. What would this have been? This would have been on Tuesday. Try to go over the expected move again. Tried again and failed. So expected move for the win. Okay. Let's see here. So we are at 748 basically. Interesting. We're right by the open. Right by the open. Thursday's open right now. Okay. Let's look at futures. So futures, look, we almost tried to take out these overlapping daily supply. This first daily supply, we still have not been able to take this daily supply zone out. Remember I said daily supply is very powerful, and we still have not taken this out. And this is kind of gross, but we're actually in this balance area. Okay. Now you do have the 9 EMA crossing the 20. The 50 still trending up. 20-day moving average is still sloping downwards. Okay. We have two weekly, what do we have? Two weekly highs together here. So let's see what we do here. Remember I said there's overlapping. There's supply here. There's actually a daily supply here. And there's a lot of overhead supply. Okay. Not going to be easy for the ES. Qs. Look where the Qs came. Daily demand. Trend line. 50-day moving average. That was the support last Thursday. Okay. All of those levels. Even the previous weekly's close. Now, we're all the way at 721.20s. All the way back here, 721.20s. You're basically a little above the midpoint of Thursday. A little above. Now, what do we have? Oh boy. What do we have here, folks? You guessed it. You guessed it. A daily supply. That is not going to be easy to take care of. So let me edit this. So again, not going to be easy. So I always have these on my charts, right? Because I don't try to, I'm not going to try to go around probabilities. Okay. So that's the daily supply now. All right. Very powerful. Very, very powerful. Okay. So now we're going to look at futures. Okay. And look at this. This is garbage. Boy, is this garbage. Okay. We're in this big kind of compressed wedge. Who knows where we're going to go? Okay. There is not a direction in this right here that I can be like, oh, this is bullish, this is bearish. Poof. You know what I mean? If you really think, have a conviction, either you don't know technical analysis or you're just biased. I mean, this to me is like, okay, let's see what we do. It is so crowded in here. Okay. But that's why I said that dispersion spread I have on tells you the story. Because if you look at individual stocks, they don't look like this. So like Micron, a lot of stocks been high flying. They do not look like this. Okay. So this is the NASDAQ. It just tapped the 50-day moving average again, and you're just in the middle of garbage. It's not a good chart at all. Nothing to be excited about. I can tell you that much. Okay. Nothing to be excited about. right, let's move on. Look at these hourlies. Like I said, nothing to be excited about. That's when you know, right? When you're trading, and especially the Nasdaq and the ES futures are SPY and QQQ. There's nothing, to be excited about. Individuals, stocks, that's kind of where it's at. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I can still do well in these markets. It's just that's why the dispersion is so high. Okay, so let's look at this. I thought I put this up. Let's put the graphic up, the hourly chart. All right. So simple, simple, simple. So ES, okay, you came down here, right? Got bought up into the close, right? Then you had overnight activity and had a little garbage session on Friday, right? So in the overnight session of what was the P? Thursday night into Thursday morning, you recovered. Then we opened up, right? Went up on Sunday night, pulled back, and now we're just in garbage land. Okay. Now the levels you got to pay attention to is 75. This is called the 75.50 area. That, folks, is ultimate balance. Okay. Is this our range for 75.93s to the 74.80s? Maybe. Till we figure out what's going on. All right. And this is the spot. I call it the warm, snuggly bed when it's cold, especially in Jersey. 75.50s. Notice how the price is attracted to this area. That's not a surprise to myself. Okay. But what that does tell me is, boy, Chop City right there. Look at this price action. It's disgusting. Okay. It's just indecisive. It's also just the market going, all right, let's settle here. This is the fairest price to do business, and we'll figure out what we're going to do. The market's telling you. Okay. It's not a time to act super bullish or bearish in the indices. Okay. It's just not. Individuals, yes. Right. Now, NASDAQ. Look at the NASDAQ. Does not look like the ES, right? And look at this drop. Boom, boom, boom into demand, right? Like I said, the overnight recovered all of that. Look at garbage price action. Had that little garbage session Friday. And then Sunday night, it actually opened up and pulled back right to where? 297, the most traded price of the month. And now it's just been grinding up into where? A heavy supply zone. That is a heavy supply zone. Okay. So what does it do today? I have no clue. Okay. No clue. All I know is you're kind of in the middle of the Thursday session. This price action does not look good. Okay. Does not look like fireworks are going to happen. Okay. That's the hourlies. Let's go to the market profile, line profile, and I'm going to get out of here. Okay. Now you'll notice one thing on this chart. I just merged every session together since Thursday at 4:15. I'd rather look at all of the sessions together in one profile than look at these little garbage sessions, okay? So that's what I'm doing, all right? Because if we look at this, now this is your market profile and volume profile, okay? We are inside still of Friday's session, okay? And remember what I said, okay? Ultimate balance, 75.50s right here, and price is right there. Really not a good area. Okay. What's going to happen today is inside out. We're going to do this or we're going to do this. Guaranteed. Which way? I don't know. Okay. Now, there's the Thursday high and Thursday low. Big, big session. There's all the trading activity after that session. Inside. Inside. Okay. Now, if I break this out, there's all the price action. Okay. Pretty much garbage. Okay. And you notice I have a supply zone here, a demand zone here. Whenever you have demand and the supply on top of each other like that, that just another reason for me to go, all right, this is just balanced. There's nothing that I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait for this. No. This could be a scalper's paradise. Okay. But that's generally not how I trade. Okay. So let's get right into scenarios for the ES. All right. So we're at ultimate balance. Couple things here. I'm going to make it really easy. Okay. So ultimate balance, 75.50. Okay. There's supply right here. So what I think a couple things can happen here. Okay. So either you do the inside out, like I said, market pushes up. I want to see this supply taken out, the overnight high, 75, 74s. Okay. I want to see that taken out. And then maybe pull back the 75.50. You go long. You target the 75.93s. Okay. Now, another one. Layla, stop flushing. My daughter is amazing. So that's one long. All right. Now, like I said, the other thing could be, okay, what I could look at is a pullback. I want it to be fast. Okay, there's like equal lows right here at the 75. What is that? 19s. Okay, you have the most traded price of Thursday, 75.10s. Anywhere in this area, okay, down here. All right, let's just call it 75.10s down to the 74.80s. If this is going to be a new balance area, anywhere in here that you get support, okay, and the market, let's say the market's not that weak. That's why I want this to be quick. You get a higher low, you target 75.50s. Okay, because I'm going to look at that like balance lows. Okay. Now, shorts. Okay, shorts. To me, if I'm going to look short, okay, one or two things can happen. We can push up, right, into this major supply at 75.80s, and either you fail in this supply, put in a lower high, you short that, target ultimate balance 75.50. Most times or not, when you start a balance area, now ultimate balance becomes the mean, but then gravity takes over, and you're going to target 75.19s. Okay, maybe you go to 74.80s. Okay, the other one would be come up, and I like this to happen quickly. Take out the 75.93s, last week's highs, sweep that, close back inside range, lower high, short that same target, 75.50s. Okay, then the 74.80s. All right, because this would be balance area highs. Okay, if this becomes a balance area, which I don't know if it will or not. I just don't know. Okay, that's your ES. I'm going to leave you here with NASDAQ. Remember, it's a different chart. It's a different chart. Definitely a different environment in the NASDAQ. Okay. So this is your NASDAQ long and short trade scenarios. Okay, and just gonna see if there's any key levels I can look at. We're kind of in the middle of a big balance area from a 302 to 297s. Okay, 302 to 297s. Now, I didn't notice this in the ES, but I do notice we're almost 100% net long in the NASDAQ. And we're holding, you can see this overnight VPOC, 29, let's call it 299s. So you have a lot of longs from Friday's lows, Thursday's lows, the overnight, all right? All these sessions are pretty much 100% net long. This, my friends, usually means a little correction could happen, okay? Holding up here, okay? So we got a lot of levels to play off here, all right? Now, we're going to break out this session. Okay, notice how 297 was supportive. Remember, that's the most traded price of the month. Okay, so this is a different chart entirely. Okay, different chart entirely. You're in the middle of somewhat of an ultimate balance, but it's so wide, the ES is more concentrated. Okay, so if we go and talk about scenarios, this is what I'm going to say. Okay, remember that overnight inventory is almost 100% net long. So when I see that, right, I'm not saying that's a short. You can short that. Okay, you're in this heavy supply. So what would I expect? You got 299s, right? Any move away from 299s down most likely is going to be a short. Okay, but we're going to talk about the long. So if I get this quick pullback to 297s, remember you got a bullish Fair gap right below that and demand. It holds. Let's say you go retest the 297s, you go long, you target the overnight highs, 30010s. Now, if you take that out and the market's strong, boy, you can go to 302s, try to tag 302.82s, Thursday's highs. Okay, Thursday's highs. I like that trade right there. Now, here's another one. Let's say the market opens up, you take out this supply, and I'd be like, good job, buyers. But you've pulled back to the 299, that VPOC from all these sessions, right? That holds, you go along there. Target 302.82s. Shorts. Well, we're in heavy supply right now, right? I talked about that already. So, and we're 100% net long in an overnight inventory. So, if the market opens up, takes out, there's like a little equal high right here, okay, around the, let's give you the level. That is around 29938, okay? Let's say you sweep that, and there's a month to date anchor VWAP right there, 29970s. Let's say you hit that, boom, go under the 299s, retest 299s, target 297s. See if you could then take out the 29522s. Also, okay, if you take out this little equal high, then you have the 30010s. There's a lot of equal highs here. If you take that, sweep that, come back into the range, put in a lower high, that's another short. Come through to 299s. That's going to fuel the move to the downside with the 100% net long inventory. Target 297s. Target 29522s. If this market really wants to roll, you will go all the way down to Friday's lows, 29328s. Okay? That's the scenarios today, folks. Give you my overall market outlook. I'm going to get out of here. Okay, so here's the story. ES is in ultimate balance, not in a great area. It's just not. Okay, we are going to move up or down. I just don't know which way. It's a coin flip. I have no clue. But I will act accordingly. Okay. NASDAQ's in a wider balance area, but the 299 overnight VPOC is a key level to be looking at. Okay. Now, who knows what money flows are going to do off the open? I don't know. I really don't know. Okay. That's my thoughts for today. It is Monday. I think we'll have lower volume. So smash the like button if you like that analysis. Okay. That'd be much appreciated. As always, please join me every morning. Subscribe, set that alert. Okay. Give you the market story, the market news, technical analysis, and I just gave you long and short trade scenarios in the NASDAQ and the ES futures. All right. If you want more in-depth coverage, you will join my Discord. That's Confluence Trading. Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link, and sign up. What are you waiting for? Let me be your indicator. Okay. Now, everybody, we have a plan, process. I'm going to sit back, be very patient today. Okay. Be very patient. And let's have a good day. Remember, no trade's a trade. All right. If you want to um, join me live 9:45 a.m., please come into Discord. I will be in there. Otherwise, I'll see everybody tomorrow morning.